Geek podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 24th, episode 72. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? Man, how's your week been?
It's been nuts. It's been crazy.
Yeah, same here, man. Had a bunch of work. Went to the beach, which was fun. But just work for the rest of it. People drive me crazy. A lot of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was like, how many? 4 days in a row? And a UFC fight. It was just a lot of bloodshed.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, the last few days. And I'm sure this, like a lot of the podcast, just a heads up, people, we're going to be talking about it because there was a lot of fighting, a lot of wrestling, a lot of, you couldn't really tell which was which. Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about that. Probably towards the end of the show, we'll get through the news and whatnot. But just a heads up, because, Logan has just always been into it, and now I'm just getting into it really feverishly, it seems like, which I'm enjoying. So, but yeah, man, had a pretty good week besides that. Yeah, I guess let's just get right into the news, huh?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Vin Diesel has confirmed saying that the Guardians of the Galaxy will indeed be in Avengers. Infinity War. What do you think of that?
Hang on, let me find my surprised face.
Right.
Like this was almost a given, really.
We assumed that, yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. So yep. I'm at, I wouldn't even be surprised if I would be surprised, but if maybe a Netflix character or two popped in just to say hi, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or something.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least if, someone popped in. But yeah, cool news. Good to see Vin Diesel, trying to take some news away from what's going on Fast and Furious.
Right, yeah, saying, oh, hey, guys, let's talk about this other project I'm working on that I don't have beef with any of my co-stars with.
Right. Have you ever seen do you follow him on Facebook at all?
No. I know, he posts, some weird stuff every once in a while, too.
He has these live videos and I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to describe is all of his live videos. It's very calm. You can hear birds chirping. There's always a wind chime thing playing. And he talks very quietly, very slowly, but with a deep, deep voice. He's not intense. He's the opposite of intense. And it's so calm, and you're and I've watched the last few of them, is he going to talk about what's going on in Fast and Furious? Because he won't mention any of it. I don't know, I found it fascinating because it's the complete opposite of what you see him in, his movies and just entertainment wise or whatever. It's the complete opposite. So
right, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, just follow him on Facebook, you'll see what I'm talking about, people. He's a cool dude, though. So yeah, man. We got some Thor news. Thor Ragnarok. Images tease encounter with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, they had a card with the address for the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Oh, that's cool. I saw an image from the set of Thor, and it spoiled something for me, and I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh yeah, the hobo.
Yes, I was like, okay.
That's
okay.
But it does set up something really. It sets up a really odd dynamic, given how the Dark World ended.
Right, exactly.
I don't know. That's gonna be interesting.
Yep, definitely. So that was really cool. Kind of wish I didn't see it, but oh well. What can you do?
Well, and I mean, it's one of those things that it asks. I don't mind it because it opens up more questions than it answers. Because usually I thought that it was kind of a cut and dried thing, and then it's like, oh no, there's this. So now I have more questions, and I actually kind of like that.
Oh yeah, I like I like that I saw it. I thought that, okay, that's better than what I thought happened.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's interesting. I can't wait to see more. Definitely. Can't wait to see that movie, man. Just I'm super interested in seeing how Hulk got into it. How last time we saw him, like he was in a plane heading out, and I think the plane crashed was mentioned or something, but we don't know how he gets with Thor to who knows. So
Right.
I'm interested in seeing that and like having it like a buddy movie. So that should be cool.
Cosmic road trip with Thor and Hulk is just like sign me up. Like I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're such cool classic characters too, and it's just such a teaming up that I just didn't expect. As soon as they started punching each other in the Avengers movie, we just always like think the audience knew like, oh, we have something here.
Exactly. Like you could see like, oh, there could be something here.
Yeah, like the two brutes of the team that could punch each other in the face and just laugh it off. Like this is perfect for Thor. Like it's someone that's not just a weakling, and it's perfect for Hulk too. Like he can get a little bit of anger out in a humorous way without murdering someone.
Right.
Yeah, so it's perfect. Yeah, man, I can't wait. When does that movie come out again? Next year, right?
Next year.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we still have Doctor Strange this year, right? That and Star Wars is kind of like
Yeah.
the last two ones that I'm getting excited for. There's not really anything coming out soon, is there? I think there was just War Dogs. Oh, I saw Suicide Squad. Did you see it? I forgot.
I haven't yet, and I'm not in any hurry to.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit towards the end of the show, but I didn't think it was bad as everyone made it out to be. I thought it was better than Batman vs Superman, but I didn't think it was a good film though. Like Joker was as bad as everyone says he is.
Ouch.
Yeah, he's definitely the worst Joker. I was surprised that I wasn't upset at him as much as I thought I was going to be. But at the end of the movie, I was just like, that was dumb, and he was dumb, and it just was. I don't know. It wasn't a good pick. You could tell Jared Leto tried hard to do his best, like David Bowie Joker, but it just wasn't. I don't know. The damage on the forehead and him trying to be a gangster, nothing was frightening about it. It wasn't like Heath Ledger. When Heath Ledger walks in that room, and granted, it had a lot to do with the writing and the sound and the tone and the direction and everything else, with Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, where he the scene where he walks in the room with the gangsters,
Yeah.
and he just steals the show, and he's frightening, and he slams that guy's head on the pencil. There was nothing like that in here. It was nothing frightening. It was just like, oh, okay, he's just a boss that people are afraid of, but I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But it wasn't as bad as it had a plot. There was reasons why people did things. You know what I mean? Like that's why it was better than Batman vs Superman.
I was gonna say it's sad that we've come to that point with DC movies where we're like, well, it had a plot.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously, and it didn't. I didn't feel like, okay, when is this gonna pick up it was honestly about. It was like halfway through the film, and I'm like, oh, we're already here. And all the trailers, I thought this would be like the ending, like the third act, and we're already here. So I was like, what are they going to do for the rest of the film? So, turns out not much, but it was odd. I never felt like, God, this is so bad. I had a little bit of fun. The music's great too. The soundtrack is awesome, but it's jarring. It's like, oh, that's a great song, but why the fuck are they playing it right now, kind of thing. You could tell they were just like, what can we add in here to get the kids like, oh, I know that song from Eminem, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But I don't know. Anyway, probably not much to talk about it later since I just went on about it. But anyway, if wait for Blu-ray, honestly, don't spend the money on that. Go see. I hear War Dogs is pretty good. I want to see that. Sausage Party, I probably want to see. Just gotta heard it's funny. But I can't think of anything else coming out.
I can't. I don't know. Like, because there's nothing where I've been like, oh, I need to make sure I know when that comes out.
Right. So there's gonna be some things coming out soon on Blu-ray that I'll probably watch. Like I think Tarzan. No, Tarzan's still in the theater, isn't it?
It's not been out of theaters for that long.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe a month or two or three. I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah. So all right. So sorry. Back to the news. Here, you go ahead and take the next one.
Yeah, we got a lot of Spider-Man Homecoming news. This is one I figured you would know this one better. Jonah Zhao from *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Oh, hold on.
I didn't know if you would recognize her or not, because
Oh.
I know you were
She
watching
looks
that.
familiar.
Yeah.
Let me see who she plays in *Halt and Catch Fire*. She.
I don't know if maybe she's new, or I didn't know if you were totally caught up with that show or
There's
not.
well, there's like two major female leads. She's not any of them. The only, I mean, she might be a side character.
Okay.
Or she's like, no. Huh. I feel terrible for not like immediately. I can't think off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. Here, I'll look it up while you go over it.
Yeah, but apparently she's been added to the cast. We don't know who,
Okay.
but we did get a look at the like a roll call sheet, and we saw a bunch of like confirmed, like, oh, there's Flash Thompson and there's Liz Allen. We also saw that there will be a Shocker, which it has got to be the comic relief element. It
Yeah.
just has to be. One that I thought, there were two that I thought were really interesting. One was kind of like a curious, like, oh, that's kind of neat, is Kenneth Choi, who plays, I cannot remember his first name, but Morita, who's one of the Howling Commandos, is playing Principal Morita in Spider-Man.
He must be like the son or something.
Or the grandson, probably.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Like, that's a fun little callback. I like that. And and apparently there is also someone just on the cast list as Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind immediately went to Cindy Moon, who is Silk.
Oh, okay.
I thought, are they setting all of this up? Like, are they like, here are all of these seeds that we're gonna plant here, and we'll see what happens?
You might as well. I mean, that'd be a cool, like, that would definitely make like a love interest also for Spider-Man, or like his. We all know Peter Parker. He's kind of gotten around, so
Yeah.
kind of setting those seeds would be really cool.
I mean, I don't know. I thought that would be kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And of course, there's the one part of all this news that the internet lost its mind over, because it's the internet. And that's, of course, that we're pretty sure that Zendaya is not playing a character named Michelle, but is playing, in fact, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, yes.
And
I thought we talked about this last week.
I don't think we did.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I saw pictures of her with red hair, and I was like, "That's cool. She looks hot. Red hair."
I mean, I'm not even all that attached to the red hair.
I think I am. That's the only thing I'm attached to.
Yeah. I mean, like anything else.
I guess the elephant in the room is what the internet's getting upset about, that she's not a traditional white actress with red hair, I guess.
Right.
Right. And so, of course, like the internet does, they lose their shit. I don't know. We've seen how many Mary Janes now?
What? Just have we had two?
Yeah, I guess. Who cares if we have, this girl that she's mixed, right? Like I don't understand that.
I mean, people need to get over the idea of, it's the Fantastic Four all over again. Like, I had no problem with, like, oh, and here's Johnny Storm, and he's black, and of course people lost their minds. And I'm like, guys, remember that all of these Marvel characters were created when we still had Jim Crow laws.
Right. No, that's a great point.
It's a big, it's a vastly different. If they were created today, they would look so much different.
Well, look at Marvel today.
Exactly.
I mean, look at their cast. I mean, it's completely different. We have a female Thor, black Captain America. They're all different. Like, I think we have now what's her name? She's gonna be Iron Man or Iron.
Ironheart. Yeah, Riri.
Ironheart.
Yeah,
Right.
Riri Williams. She's gonna be
Yeah.
Ironheart.
We
Which
have an Asian American Hulk. Like, it makes sense. Like, I don't get what the thing is though. I'll say this. I do understand the knee-jerk reaction of saying that's not what the character that I've had in my head for all these years looks like. I get that. That's why I said the only thing I'm really attached to is the red hair, just because that's just so. That's what I think of when I think of Mary Jane, is that bright red hair. But it doesn't upset me or anything. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. I want to see how she does the character. If she's a shit actor and boring, then it can't get worse than, why did my mind just go blank? The girl from the original trilogy.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah.
Yes, anything but her. You know what I mean? I think Emma Stone did such a great job as Gwen Stacy. That's what I guess what I think of when I think Gwen. I think blonde. I think of Mary Jane. I think red. I don't know. That's just, I don't know why. Is that weird? Kind of like with, I don't know. I don't know. That's just what I think of. So, if it's not like that, like for example, if she just has black or brunette hair, I'm not going to be upset about it. But that's the only thing that would take me out of it, if that makes sense a little bit. I'd be like, huh, okay, but that's it.
Well, I mean, my thing is the character of Mary Jane that we're used to is a go-getter. Like, she's confident. She's kind of an alpha female in a sense. Not so much a tomboy, but just like she just never really takes any crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, was why I really didn't like the one from Raimi's trilogy, because there was always this hint of like she was a victim, and never, like, she would kind of half-ass things. That was my thing. It was like, yeah, she had a rough life, and that sucks, and teenage, all that. Fine, I get it. Let that build character. I was like, all right, so now I'm gonna go do this thing, and then it's like, oh, I failed at this thing. I guess that's the end of that. Like, that's crap for any character. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just. It just happened to be. It happened to be that particular Mary Jane was just like, oh, I tried and I failed, so I probably shouldn't try again, until somebody comes along and says, no, I think you can do great, and because there was no internal drive. That was my thing. Like, it didn't come from her. That was my problem. As long as there's not that. Like, give me somebody strong and confident and who is going to get knocked down and then is going to get back up and say, all right, is that it? Is that all you got? Watch this. Like, that's the kind of character I'm looking for.
Yeah, no doubt. No, and I've never seen this girl before. I guess she's a Disney Channel girl, so that makes sense. Disney would, hey, what about her?
Right.
So I don't know. I have no idea about her acting chops or what she can bring to the table, but Disney has not let us down yet. So, why not? I'm all in for it. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see here. Oh, wait. So who? Okay, so Flash Thompson, Liz, Shocker. Yeah, I agree. Shocker.
It's gonna be the joke villain. It's gonna be, because we're not really getting the origin story. We're gonna jump into, okay, he's Peter Parker, he's Spider-Man, blah blah blah. Here he is. And so have
you read Max Landis' script about the Shocker?
No, he's got a Shocker script.
It's called The Shocker, and then it's legit, and it's like his story, and like apparently he makes him an interesting character. So, I'll send you the link. You can read. Yeah, I know you love reading, so.
Yeah, and I mean, they did that in Ultimate Spider-Man, where like he was just a punching bag. It was like, oh, Peter's late for school. He's got to stop and knock out Shocker on his way, and that makes him an extra 5 minutes late. Right. And then eventually, like, they did a thing where, like, he finally caught Spider-Man, and they were like, there's an actual character here. Like, he had, like, almost kind of a breakdown of, like, this is why I'm not a loser. And it was a great issue. I really enjoyed it. But I think this is the Shocker we're going to see of, like, oh, and he robbed a deli. Quick, somebody stop him. Whack.
Well, wasn't the foes of... the superior foes of Spider-Man, wasn't that with the Shocker?
That was a series I didn't read.
That was really good.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, yeah. It takes his like joke characters and it makes them like actual characters. Like they're like we're tired of getting just fucking stepped on by this guy. How can we stop getting stepped on by this guy? And it's really good. Like and it's about their kind of day to day. Like I think I forget. I gotta go back and read it because I've only read like there's like 17 issues. I've read maybe 5, and it was cool seeing like one of them bail the other ones out of jail, and like how much shit they have to go through.
Yeah.
Where they're explaining to him like, I can't get you out. You tried to kill like 6 people, and that's not okay. And he's like, well, this guy tried to kill 20, and the Avengers just let him walk away. And they're like, you don't have the clout. Like it's really cool. It's a good comic.
Nice. Yeah, that was definitely one I think I read the first issue and it was like, oh, okay, I want to go back to this. But then there was, this was in the middle of I think the first Marvel Now wave or close to it.
It was, yeah,
it was,
yeah. Well, it's all done. It's all 17 issues. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how great it gets, but I really enjoyed most of it that I read.
Yeah, I would dig 17 issues of that. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not nothing, but it's not a tremendous like, oh my god, 17 issues. Like,
it's written very much like kind of like Hawkeye was written, and like those kind of comics where it's very offbeat and kind of like the Silver Surfer comic, where it's this weird side of the universe that's not that serious, and then like randomly something will happen and like, oh shit, it gets serious for a second, but then it goes back to being like, how's he gonna get out of this? Like kind of whatever. Yeah, but. Anyway. Let's see here. We got some Blade 2 news. Blade Runner 2. Jesus, Blade 2. Blade Runner 2. Jared Leto added to the film as an unannounced role.
Yeah, so apparently his working relationship with Warner Brothers isn't that bad.
No. I mean, he's a good actor. Like, he has been running his mouth though about Suicide Squad.
That's what I mean. Like,
oh, okay, yeah, that's okay. So immediately halfway through the thought, I'm like, oh, that's what he's talking about. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Jumanji: The Rock says film is a continuation, not a reboot. Makes sense.
Yeah, that it's gonna be more of like it's gonna be kind of like what we've seen lately with movies like this, where it's like, well. We are starting the franchise over, but it's like a sequel reboot kind of thing.
Yeah. We don't have to step on the toes of the original. We can honor it and barely mention it and kind of follow the same path. That's what I imagine they're doing. And I see this becoming a trilogy and because everything is these days.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Mission Impossible 6 news, pre-production delayed over discussion of Tom Cruise's salary.
Yeah, because here's somebody who doesn't make enough money.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big draw for people, though.
Yeah, but come on, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I don't know what that... I don't know what that's like, so...
No, I've never had the luxury of being in a position where, like, look, I'm not going to show up because I don't think you're paying me enough.
He has the clout, though. I mean, he could... He's the kind of actor that can't put his dick on the table, and the studio's going to go, we've got to pay him, because he's a big draw still. Like, he's still a great actor, still. He does all the great action movies.
Yeah, because Jack Reacher did tremendously well.
Well, okay, but come on.
Uh-huh. That was the whole...
I'm not saying every actor has, like, every film fantastic.
Well...
You can't look at his entire career and then point at Jack Reacher and say, like, well, he shouldn't be able to demand money.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, look, there's flaws to the argument of, like, oh, we can put Tom Cruise in this and it's going to do fantastic.
But he's not Will Smith level yet, though. He hasn't made 10 bad movies in a row.
Fair point.
Right, that's what I mean. Like the last few, and plus he's doing like this whole mummy thing.
Right, yeah, we'll see how well that works.
I don't know, man. I think he still got it. I loved the last Mission Impossible. I thought Edge of Tomorrow was fantastic.
I agree.
Was great. Tropic Thunder, he was fantastic, and he's good.
Yeah. Does anybody even remember Day and Night?
I didn't see that. It didn't look interesting to me.
See.
I don't think I was the demographic for that. I'm not 40 and above.
Yeah, right. Well, but that was supposed to be.
But one of my favorites of his, and people hate it, but Last Samurai. I just loved that movie.
I like The Last Samurai.
Yeah, I do too.
I,
But
I
anytime I mention it, people are like, "What are you? That movie's garbage."
I know why people hate it. I just don't care. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was great.
yeah, no,
Um,
I agree. He's not gotten to the Will Smith level of just like, oh my God, he can't draw. But
right.
it's not a spotless track record. And also, I mean, you know, when you're six movies into a franchise, I, I,
But
I
his films, look, his films go back to 19, what, like the 80s,
yeah, at least.
late 70s or early 80s. It has to be. Like he has a giant. I don't know. I think his record is good. Obviously, he's gonna make some stumbles,
Right,
but but
there was Cocktail. There
yeah,
was,
but there's Jerry Maguire though. Like
yeah,
there's a
well,
few
that
good
could go
hits.
either way
There's
too.
Days of Thunder. Like there's some fantastic. I don't know. I think he's still got it.
Let the record show that you went to Days of Thunder before I did, which is really fascinating.
He was great in that movie.
Hey man, don't look at me. I'm from a NASCAR family, man. That movie's like plays in my head on a loop, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So let's see here. What else do we got? Max Steel trailer for the movie based on the Mattel action figure release. I didn't see this.
Oh, you guys see this? This is great.
So like, what is Max Steel?
It's
Sounds cheesy as
I
fuck.
yes, it is, and the trailer knows it. That's what I love. They're like, look, we know it's a movie based on an action figure. We're not gonna try to make this look smart. Just enjoy this. Like
Is this like an old like action figure? I've never heard of the series.
it was God, I don't remember when it was around. But like I knew this was a Mattel thing because I'd seen it, but I was like, okay, whatever. And now
I've
they're
never.
like, oh, we're making a movie based on it. Like, really? Okay, sure, why not? Because they did Transformers and all this other stuff, so now Mattel's got to jump in.
Yeah, it says Max Steel is the line of action figures produced and owned by toy company Mattel. The figures are similar to the original 12-inch G.I. Joe toys, consisting almost entirely of different versions of Max Steel. The
Right.
main character and one or two of his enemies, a couple vehicles, 2 or 3 special packages. So it looked like this is like the off-brand generic. Here's an action figure. Here's 6 that look just like him but different colors.
Right, because it's all like different suits. I know.
I get it because Power Rangers kind of did that, but at least like there was different dinosaurs. I don't know. I gotta see this trailer.
Yeah, it's you watch that and suddenly you'll be like, oh, okay, they know. Like it's not like trying to be a gritty dark anything. It's like, oh no, we get it, we get
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I think we got a break coming up pretty soon. So what we'll do is on the break, I will check out this trailer, and then we'll get back. We will finish the movie news, get into some TV, video games, and some wrestling. Okay. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you guys in a minute. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the in.fm. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the in.fm. And yeah, just saw the trailer for Max Steel. It is as cheesy as you said it was.
I told you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, I think kids will love that. It looks cool for like a kids movie. Like,
Right, and they're not ashamed of like this is who it's for. Like
right, totally. Yeah, about halfway through it when you see the ending of the movie.
yeah.
I thought this is very much like what they do in like cartoons. They'll show you this scene and stuff. So, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is it's exactly what you said it was. So it makes sense. Cool. All right, there you go. We got some Lord of the Rings news. Ultimate Lord of the Rings and Hobbit Blu-ray collection coming in October, and it will cost you $600.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like the extended version everything of all 6 movies, and that breaks down to $100 a movie.
It's like instead of paying your car insurance for 6 months, you can go and get this.
Right.
I don't know how much your car insurance is, but I'm just saying that's what it kind of sounds
Well,
like.
or here's your thing: you can buy this, or you can pay rent, Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, exactly. Holy crap! What? Why on earth? In this day and age of digital, like HD, and they know people, and I'm not advocating to steal anything, but we live in a day and age where that's just what happens. Um, it's a reality. Why would they charge $600? That's
because
insane to me.
because collectors will pay it.
Yeah, that's it. They're only honestly, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I want the whole collection, but there's no way in God's green earth I'm paying $600.
I could see them justifying 200.
Yeah, 2 or 300 bucks. I could totally see that. Two, I'm with you on two. Three, I wouldn't do it, but two, I wouldn't a heartbeat.
Right. 3, like, I could understand. I would be like, that's too rich for me, but
Exactly.
yeah, all right, that's 50
Exactly.
that's $50 per movie. Fine. Given all the extras and features and everything. Okay, barely, but okay.
I mean, $600. That is
Good
that
God.
is buying a 3DS and a PlayStation 4.
That's 2 car payments for me.
Yeah, that's insanity.
I mean, I know. Like I just
Yeah,
no.
that's crazy. Ay,
The
Dios míos.
the ultimate, like, the same version of the same treatment for all the Harry Potter movies, all 7 of them, is like $200.
That makes perfect sense. That is a reasonable, understandable price, and it's
Right.
got what, probably all the extras and stuff.
All the yeah, it's like it's 31 discs. It's got days of bonus features. You know, it's
Beautiful.
what you're like, "Oh, I'm looking for the ultimate Blu-ray collection of all these films." That's what you get.
Right, we got the whole Star Wars thing for $100.
Right.
Like, and it has all of the extras in it too. Like, that's ridiculous. I even thought when I bought the Star Wars, like, this is a good chunk of money. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't live lavishly. You know, like when I spend that much money, it has to be on something like that I'm passionate about or whatever.
Right.
Um, and that is a yep, that's something.
Yeah, that's way too rich for my blood.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah. So, uh, real fast before we get into TV news, I saw that Joe Russo, who's doing the next Avengers, said expect another actor from Community to appear in the movie. So, like, I guess that's what they're going to continue doing from now on, because they wrote, Community or a lot of episodes or whatnot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they'll expect more guest appearances. So, I never made that connection till like right now with who we saw in the last one.
Right, and then you look at it and you're like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Yeah, totally makes sense. It is kind of jarring, at least for me. I'm like, oh, what? Wait, what is Abed doing there? That kind of thing. Yeah. All right, let's get into TV news. Marvel's Runaways series based on comic book coming to Hulu from Gossip Girl creators Stephanie Savage and John Schwartz.
Josh Schwartz. Yeah.
Josh. Sorry, it's late. Um, oh man, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I wish it was Netflix, but okay.
I think it's interesting that they're doing Netflix and Hulu.
Wait, so Marvel's Runaways, they own the rights to this. Why the hell are they on Hulu?
I
For some reason, for a moment there, I thought, okay, X-Men,
right.
so Fox, but no, Marvel's Runaways. Wait, so is this Fox owned? Because aren't they mutants?
I don't think so. I didn't see Fox anywhere in the news thing.
That's crazy. That's really stupid.
I don't know.
Maybe they don't want it a part of their Netflix.
That may be, like, the movies are one thing, Netflix is one thing, TV is one thing. So I don't know, they're just trying to they're trying to hit every market. I don't.
Don't split your fan base that much. Don't make me go get Hulu if I'm already paying for Netflix.
Right, especially since there is no free option anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's not cool.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
But here's the other thing. How many people have cut the cord, though? Like, how many people do Hulu instead of, like, broadcast TV?
Yeah, but how many people still have broadcast TV and only can get one of these, and they probably get Netflix?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the digital versus physical argument all over again.
yeah. No, I mean I would say most people they pay for cable and then they have Netflix instead of for example most people just having Netflix and Hulu.
But it would be cheaper to have Netflix and Hulu.
Right, but I'm saying more people have regular cable and Netflix is what I guess I'm saying.
Right, but
Um,
is that where the market's headed though?
yeah, but I mean that's where it's at right now. Is I don't know. It's just that's another app. This is like just getting CBS application, then
Well,
the
that's just
HBO
stupid.
Go.
Like,
Well, that's what I mean. Like I don't know. Do you, for example, do you have Hulu?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. So, do you know anyone that do more people have Hulu or Netflix for you?
Uh,
Netflix, right? You would say?
I would say Netflix, but I do know a lot of people that have Hulu.
I don't know. I might know a handful. I've never heard anyone talk about it. I think for anytime I told someone about that John Kennedy uh
Well, the 11,
show,
yeah, the 11, what was it, the Stephen King thing?
yeah. Anytime I told someone about that, like, oh, cool, I'll go check it out on Netflix. Nope, gotta have Hulu. Sorry,
Yeah.
gotta wait once a week. They're like, fuck that. I don't know. I don't know. I can't be too harsh on it. We need Hulu. Netflix needs competition, but yeah, it's the WCW right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I want him. I want him grappling with Stone Cold, not Hacksaw Jim Duggan. All right. So anyway,
Oh.
back to TV news. The Punisher casting rumors suggest Micro to be included. Come on, they suggested Micro in the second season of Daredevil.
Right, he had the disc, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like this. Apparently, was news. They're like, and they're gonna cast Microchip. I'm like, really? Like, we knew this already.
Exactly.
Like, you can't do Punisher without Micro.
Right. I wonder if, for example, if they were to bring in a second character that's big in the Punisher side of the world, who would you like it to be?
I, you know,
He
I
doesn't have too many.
that's
Obviously because he's like a loner character.
right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's basically just like those two against the world, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. All of his characters literally have like normal names. They're all like, you know, uh, I can't even think of any top of the head. Like Finn Cooley from down the street, and like, like they all have like normal names.
Right. It's all organized crime. I mean, like one of the rare few that ever became like a quote unquote supervillain was Jigsaw.
Right, right,
I
right.
mean, he just doesn't have that many.
No, I agree. Yeah, Microchip, I guess, is the one. Who do you think he'd be cast? Who do you think would be cast as Microchip?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, you're looking for a slightly overweight, balding, middle-aged white guy. I mean, take your pick.
Hmm. I don't know. Um,
David Cross wouldn't be bad.
yeah. That would be a really good idea.
He could do it.
Yeah. Um. What about Jason Alexander?
I yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe he's a little too comedy.
Yeah, I know. But that's what it would need, though, right? Like everything's so dark and gloom.
Well, but I mean, Micro's not a clown. He's got a very dry sense of humor.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's just kind of his thing is just like, and Frank, try not to burn down the entire island of Manhattan.
Hmm.
Like that kind of like that's basically the extent of his humor.
Right.
He's not lighting
Oh,
sparklers
Wayne
on.
Knight.
What?
What about Wayne Knight?
I you know, 10 years ago I would have said totally. I
Yeah.
don't know if he could do it now though.
That's what it's saying. Top 5 actors that played Microchip. That's the number one.
Well, sure, because when you think of overweight white hackers, you think the dude from Jurassic Park.
Right, right.
Like,
Nick Frost.
okay,
Yeah. Rainn Wilson.
that's not a stupid idea.
Paul Giamatti. Christian Slater.
Ooh, give me Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti's perfect.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah. And Donald Laug. I'm saying that wrong.
Donald Logue. He's
Donald Logue, yeah.
Bullock.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do that. He's already on.
Right. Well, and I mean, either way, I don't think he fits. I don't think it's him.
I think Rainn Wilson or Nick Frost would be more realistic for them for price wise.
Right.
If they could nail Paul Giamatti, but he's too high.
If they could talk him into it, that would be amazing because he would be perfect.
It would be. And Christian Slater's already doing Mr. Robot, so.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I need to catch up on that, man. I hear it's so good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. All right. What do we got here? Okay. The Flash. You go ahead and take this one.
Yeah. Todd LaSanze from The Vampire Diaries has been cast as Savitar, the evil old speedster dude. We talked about him last week, I think. And Ashley Rickards from Awkward has been cast as the Top. That's interesting because this is another one that they're gender switching.
Okay.
This was another one that the Top was originally male. But the way that they're doing it now is that she and... What was the way that they put it? She and Mirror Master are kind of like Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? It's an interesting dynamic. We'll go for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's see here.
But, as long as they don't actually throw tops, I'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We got The Lost Boys, Rob Thomas, Veronica Mars, iZombie, developing TV series adaptation of the 1987 film for the CW. I never really got into it.
I mean, if you were gonna do another vampire show, first off, the CW is the place to do it. And the idea of adapting The Lost Boys as a TV series, I mean, there are worse ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Not the most comforting thought in the world, but there are worse ideas.
Right, yeah, exactly. Right. Let's see here. We got Snatch, Rupert Grint, to star in TV series sequel to the 2000 film.
Yeah, it had. It was a Guy Ritchie film, I think.
Yep. It's been years.
Yeah, been 16 years.
Yeah.
But okay, good for Rupert.
Right.
I mean, everybody else has gone on to do great things. It's about time he did something.
That's true. Anne of Green Gables. Netflix acquires rights for 8-part series coming in 2017.
Yeah, because this is what we needed a reboot of.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
It's old. Man, really? You know nothing of Anne of Green Gables?
No, what is that?
Oh, man, it's old-timey. Like, this is like some old classic masterpiece theater TV. Like, this was... Anne of Green Gables was... First of all, it was Canadian, which is bad enough.
Oh, this looks like nothing I would be interested in.
Right, that's the thing. Of like, it's kind of the same mold of like, Little House on the Prairie and all that kind of... It's like older PBS type TV.
This looks like something grandmas would just be in love with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is she ever going to get out of the cottage? Like, that just seems like...
Pretty much,
I don't know. Yeah.
So, I don't know why Netflix... I mean, they really jumped at this.
Maybe they remake it, and they put her in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
and
right.
they changed or it's a zombie show. They just switch it up.
So
they call it Anne of Green Gables, but she turns into a monster.
So they're gonna... Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, that's a way to switch it up. Get people interested.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either. I see this just being weird and boring, and
yeah,
it's going to be one of those things where it comes out, and I'm like, all right, let's see what this is like, and then probably not watch after one episode. I still haven't seen the Full House. I heard it's terrible.
I have no interest in watching Fuller House.
Yep. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll finish TV news, and we'll get into some video games. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and I saw one little piece of Game of Thrones news. I didn't put it on there. But we'll talk about that before we get into video games. It's just real fast. It's not even that big of a news. Rumor is that Jason Momoa was spotted on the set. Set obviously to cast as like a cameo in the next season. Obviously like flashback of some sort. I'm thinking.
Well, or a dream, like we've seen that before.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Like
He could definitely just be a dream. I
yeah,
didn't think
like
about that.
he had one of those cameos before.
Right, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that would be cool. So, I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Let's see here. All right, let's go into video games. You take this first one.
I
Jeez.
couldn't believe, like, I saw this and I was like, what the hell? So Konami has announced a new Metal Gear game, which by itself is what the hell news. It's called Metal Gear Survive, and it takes the soldiers who survive the end of Ground Zeroes, and they get sucked into a wormhole, and they have to survive on this alternate world against zombies with like crystals for heads.
Yep.
I mean, this is Konami saying we can out-Kojima Kojima. And they may have here. But
Yep.
it's like this 4-player co-op designed game, and I'm just like, look, I mean, it's different. I'll give them that.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm not at all interested, not one bit.
I'm like, part of me, like, I'm not, but there is part of me that's just morbidly fascinated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't been back to Metal Gear. I played the first part of it. I played a few missions, and I think I had enough. I was like, okay, I guess it's enough for me. I'm sure I know everyone loved it, but
Yeah.
just wasn't my thing. So this doesn't really interest me too much. But yeah. So okay, yeah, that's some weird interdimensional. Yeah, it's just odd. All right. So cool. This next bit of news, the Sony. Now this was odd coming out. Basically, this is the biggest leak I've ever seen, where a company just doesn't acknowledge it.
Right. They have said nothing.
Yeah. What we're talking about is the PlayStation 4 Slim. Should be unveiled on September 7th event. According to reports, PlayStation Now confirmed to come to PC soon as well. Announced alongside DualShock 4 USB wireless adapter. PS Plus prices apparently are going to rise $10 for 3 months. And yearly plans effective September 22nd. So they're basically going to be the same price as Xbox Live now, so it's $10 more. I think it's like instead of 50, it's 60.
Right.
I'm still gonna, so what I would do now, honestly, is I would get the cards now and update it now.
Right.
In the meantime, I'll probably do that. I'll probably buy like 2 cards and update it so that I'm good for the next few years. Because who knows, in 2 years probably will have a new system out. But then it'll flow over, I guess, with the next whatever PlayStation is.
Yeah. Well, and because the interesting thing is, they sent out an email about the price increase. That was like, hey, just a heads up, this is going to happen, etc., etc.
Yeah, but they did it in the month with like the 2 most boring games that they could have chosen.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did a blog post about the PlayStation Now coming to PC. And the interesting thing with that is that it starts in Europe, and then it's coming to North America second.
Right.
And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is odd.
But the PS4 Slim, that was some interesting news, because I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not? Oh wait, because there's another console coming out. It's the same thing that I ridiculed Microsoft for doing at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Which was like, hey, here's the Xbox 1.5 that we're working on, Project Scorpio or whatever the hell they called it. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, here's the Xbox One Slim. And Sony's gonna do the same thing. They're like, hey, here's the PS 4.5 that we're working on, and here's a PS4 Slim. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why would you do this?
Yep.
Why? Why? Damn it! I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The business side of that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, do they really sell that many Slims to make it a smart business tactic? I mean, I don't see numbers on it, but I can't imagine that actually makes as much money as it would need to.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes no sense to me. My head in the next few months is thinking, if anything, I'd get VR and like the NX, of course, NX. That's um, I'd over everything, I'd get the NX because that's just a new console. We don't really know what it is yet, so like I said, we'll find out next month. Um, but for example, your money, where would you put your money? I know you're getting VR,
Yeah.
but if anything else, it would never be a Slim. It'd be an X, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking with this. Like,
I, man, I don't know. I guess they're banking so big on 4K. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't get I'm one to talk. I've got a 19-inch TV, so I
no,
am not the.
I have a 4K television. There's no, I don't want a 4K PlayStation right now. I have a PlayStation. Why would anyone? I mean, unless you have like a lot of money. For example, um, uh, what I mean is like stupid money. Like you just okay. I want to update for shits and fucking giggles. I want to spend $200 to have a nicer display or whatever. Um, I get like if you didn't have a system, like for example, right now, the 4K TV we have, it was $600. It's a 55-inch 4K. I don't even know what brand. It's a normal brand, but it was on sale. It was like from 900 to 600 or whatever. And 600 is a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not now than what it used to be for TVs, if that makes sense, right?
Right, they've gotten cheaper.
Right. 2 or 3 years ago, the 4K television would have been $2,000. Now they're at the price of normal HD televisions.
Well, it's like yeah, it's like Blu-ray players. Like
Exactly.
a decent Blu-ray player is like $60.
Exactly. But even I don't know anyone with the 4K TV that would go out and trade in their PlayStation to get the 4K. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Not when you have competition. Not when you have like the NX coming out. That's exciting to me. You're telling me in 6 months to a year you're gonna, or they said 6 months, right? You're gonna have a Pokemon, a Zelda, and a Mario game. Why would I? Why would I spend my money somewhere else? That's stupid to me. That's totally dumb.
Because you only play Madden and Call of Duty.
Well,
That's
yeah, I mean,
that's the market they're looking at, man. And that's a huge chunk of the market too.
yeah, I see the people getting this are, like I said, just people that with stupid money or not their money they're spending, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And that's I think we forget sometimes that accounts for a tremendous portion of the market.
And it doesn't even look that like, I don't know. To me, what they should have done is okay, put out the 4K PlayStation. Keep the regular PlayStation, drop the price 100 or two or maybe 150 or 200, let's not 200, it's 400 right now, right? Or it's 350.
Yeah, so drop it. Hell, drop it 100.
Drop it $100 and then release the PlayStation 4K at the same price you have this one.
Right.
I could understand if they had to go up $100 or whatever. It's not something I'd buy, but I could understand that. And then have that. Have the two SKUs, but now we have three.
Right. Well,
You're
or
the top dog. Xbox doesn't even come close.
and I'll give you a third option. Have an $800 bundle with the 4K and the VR.
Oh yeah, see that would make perfect sense.
I mean, that to me, I would look at and say, you know what? Put that on layaway. Like I would like if I didn't have a PlayStation and they were like, "All right, here are your choices. Get the old model for 250, get the new model for 400, or get the new model plus VR bundle for 800."
Yeah.
If there were at least 2 games included,
Yeah.
then I would be like, all right, that's something to consider. But the old model, the Slim, and the new model, and the VR $500 besides,
Yeah.
uh,
Makes no sense. I don't know who this is for. It seems really stupid. Like this whole time PlayStation 4 cycle, um, this whole generation, it's been just dominating. There was no need for this.
they've lost what, like a couple of months?
They should have been focusing way more on what first party games can we release instead of how can we make 3 more systems for the same. And no, this is what baffles me. This is what absolutely loses me, is that they're making systems that are leaps ahead. For example, the Xbox, whatever the one that comes out next year,
Yeah.
is supposed to be such a better system. It is technically the next generation, but they're making games for that have to play on the regular Xbox One.
It's gonna, God, this.
So you have a game. What's the point of that? If you're gonna make something that much more powerful, just call it the Xbox 2 and be done with it. And so sorry you're left behind, but they're going this whole like Apple route, and I'm sorry, but it's not the same.
It's a whole different, like, this is not the same kind of product.
It's hard to even justify purchasing a new phone every 2 years, but a phone does a million more things and is a million times more useful than a gaming machine.
Right. There is an argument to be made there. Not so much with this. No.
Exactly. But we got to take a quick break. We'll get back. We'll get more into video games and whatnot. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we just talked about before the break Sony's Slim model and whatnot. Did you hear the rumor? And this is crazy, but there's rumblings that Sony might be working on another mobile device.
Really?
Yeah. Based off of a chip or something. Let me see if I can find it.
What, we're basic, like a PS Vita 2?
Yes. Hold on a second.
Because the Vita and the PSP were such hits commercially.
Yeah, let me read this to you. Is Sony about to unveil a new PS Vita? Now, we all know they don't make... they don't sell. There's no production of first-party games for the Vita anymore.
Right.
But here, I'll read this to you. Sony will be holding a special conference, blah, 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 blah. Japanese blog found FCC listings that had patents for 2 new wireless chips. One chip had a model name of a WCB262. This is similar to the PlayStation 4 line of hardware that could be for the PS4 Neo. The other chip model is J20H091. This one is similar to that of the PlayStation Vita line of hardware. Due to the similarity, some people think that Sony will update the Vita. I guess the NeoGAF user who started the thread about this rumor has dubbed it the PS Vita Trinity, mocking the Matrix sounding names for the PlayStation VR, Project Morpheus and the
Neo.
PS4 Neo. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people think it could be something. I don't at all. Not for a second.
I don't buy it.
I would love this news more than anything. I don't think it's real.
Why?
I think maybe it's like they said. It could be an update for future hardware that's like consoles or maybe a phone. I don't see this being. I would love a handheld Sony device, a new one, but I just. It's failing because of iPhones and iPads, which sucks because I'm a huge advocate of the 3DS and the Vita as like actual games that you can take with you on the go that are fun. Pokemon, for example, Pokemon Go. Look at that.
Well, here's the interesting thing. I wonder if how the NX is its own thing that you plug into a TV, if they're thinking of, the Neo having having a more substantial remote play function with an updated Vita, you know what I mean?
That would be interesting. So a Vita that could play. Well, we all know Vita can stream the PlayStation 4 games pretty much. The what do you call it? The
remote play.
Remote play. But yeah, what if you had a Vita that you could play? You had the same library,
right,
as the PlayStation 4. That would be insane.
That's the only way I see that coming about. I don't see them just like, hey, here's another Sony handheld. I don't see that. I don't believe that for a second.
That would be awesome. I would imagine if you could sit on your couch and play PlayStation 4 games.
Yeah,
and I'm joking because obviously you can sit on your couch now. But like if, for example, sit in your bed, just go to your couch, go to your bathroom, go to your, you're at a parent's house. It's boring. They're watching TV. You pull that out, and then you go about your business. Go on the train. Take your PlayStation 4 games with you. That sort of thing. Like, how cool would that be?
I mean, that's the only way I see this being an actual thing.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be so awesome. Yeah, imagine playing that. That would just be so cool. Playing Overwatch, just walking around the house. God, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Damn, I didn't even think about that. That would be amazing.
So there we go. But
yeah, and if it has the same chip as the PlayStation 4, but it's a mobile version of it, oh man, that would be awesome. Yep, and for example, all the digital games I've bought, that's the trick right there. Is obviously you couldn't play a disc, so it'd have to have your digital library, and that would make my years of buying digital just be so much better. That I get to just play with all my digital games on the PlayStation Vita or whatever. That would just be so good.
Right.
Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, let's move ahead. Let's move along. Dragon Quest XI game confirmed as in development for the Nintendo NX.
Well, because we know that 10 is going to be in that launch window too.
It is.
Yeah, 10 is going to be in. It's one of the 5.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, yeah, and we're working on 11. We're like,
wait, what do you mean one of the 5?
The 5, how they were talking about it's one of the 5 big franchises.
Oh.
It's one of those, it's gonna be, you were talking about earlier, Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, Dragon Quest, and then there's supposedly one more, not there's 5 launch titles, but there's 5 big franchises that are gonna be within this first 6 months.
Oh yeah. Make it Metroid.
Man, I don't know.
Oh man, I would love an updated, old school Metroid, kind of like the one that got pulled off the internet.
Right.
That's all they have to do. They know that's all they have to do, right? Sometimes it's frustrating with these companies. You see some people off the street make something better, and they're like, they just don't take the hint. You should. Anyway. Yep. All right. Yeah. So, Allison Road, PT-inspired horror game being continued at new studio, Far From Home. So, tell me about this.
Okay, so Allison Road was something that, I forget, it had a Kickstarter or something, and there was a little studio working on it, and then I don't remember what happened, but production was halted, and it was canceled, and it went away, and it made the internet sad. Mm-hmm. And so one of the guys who I guess was the founder at the last studio, I don't have his name in front of me, he and his wife are co-founding this new studio, Far From Home, and they're going to continue working on it, apparently.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, why not? Go for it.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
it's first person horror. It's definitely oh yeah, this is it's not like the PT team jumped ship and we're like, now we're doing this, but like this is somebody
Spiritual successor.
right. It's like, yo, this looked awesome, and I'm sad it's not coming out, so I'm going to make a game like that. Could have been.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
So I'll take that. That looks neat.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Below. Capybara? What?
Capybara, yeah.
Capybara Games titled delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, they were like, look, yeah, we don't really have anything done on this like we thought we would. So instead of just say, oh, it's going to come out in fall, whatever, we're just going to scrap a release date entirely, and we'll let you know.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. It was supposed to be something...
Looks pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looks pretty. Let's see here. So, okay, yeah, I mean, before we get into the other stuff, did you see that Pokemon Go is about to update? And, like, the gym leaders are actually going to do stuff?
Yeah, the team leaders.
Yeah, the team leaders. That's what I meant.
Yeah, they're what? They're going to be like, oh, this Pokemon has potential, this one doesn't, or something. They weren't really clear exactly.
Yeah, like, it gives you hints on what to do. It gives you hints to... you're going against this person. You should probably use water type, that sort of thing.
Right.
This one has the most potential for battle, that kind of thing. So I thought it was cool. It's an ever evolving game.
Right.
So awesome.
It's been out for what a month and change, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're finally putting in a tutorial. So that's what it seems like.
I kind of liked the very beginnings of, you teach me and I'll teach you kind of strategy they did. I thought it was great.
I mean, yeah, but there does come a point where it's like, all right, this is just insane now.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone's reaction when they sang that to themselves and they realized it, and you see the light in their eyes, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is just like the book." It was great. Oh yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we sort of talked about some of this other extra stuff, like the Invincible Iron Man.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, oh yeah, of course she's not going to be called Iron Man. Duh.
Why is her name Riri? I don't get it.
Because I mean, come on, one kid is named Uatu after the Watcher, like blatantly. They're like, oh yeah, my mom's a big fan of the Watcher. Like, really?
But Riri, like, it's just, that is so bad. That is bad writing to me.
People have weird names, man.
No, like, that's bad. That's really bad.
I disagree.
Would you name any character Riri and not expect people to make fun of them or to just be like, this is dumb? What a dumb name. It doesn't sound...
Man, do you have any idea how many names I see on delivery orders where I just look and go, wow, your parents hated you?
Yeah, I'm sure if they were named Riri, God, that's just terrible. That sounds like a name someone would, like, mock someone as Riri. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
it's like naming your kid, I don't know, Fatty or something. It's like you're just or like Shitface. Like, you're just going that step beyond so kids don't have to, if that makes sense.
I get your point. I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal.
I think it's bad. It's like naming your kid Butthole. It's like, okay, well, I guess people they won't have to try to make fun of me. They'll just call me something really... I don't know. That's just terrible. They could have done better. I don't know. Sorry, there's my rant about a stupid name. But yeah, she's going to be called Ironheart, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. So, hopefully she'll dress like the guy on Overwatch. But yeah, Beetlejuice, musical coming to Broadway in 2018.
Yeah, because that was what we needed.
Why not?
Hey, instead of Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, we get Beetlejuice Goes Broadway.
Exactly.
Sure, why not? Why the hell not?
A Nintendo company sells majority stake in Seattle Mariners for $661 million.
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of change.
Which lets you know just how much money they need.
Yeah.
where they're like, hey, you know this deal that we made a long time ago that freaked a lot of people out? We're gonna sell most of it. I think they're keeping 10%,
Mhm.
but they're selling off the other however much they had. I don't even know.
They should have called them the Seattle Marios.
Well, that was what everybody was worried about.
Yeah, I know. People are weird. I would have done with it. They just didn't they have like the Prime Minister of Japan just dress as Mario?
Man, for the closing ceremonies for the Olympics.
That's fantastic.
Because they're going to be in Tokyo next time.
I know. I thought, yes, why not? That's awesome.
And I love that it was Shinzo Abe, that it was the Prime Minister of Japan who was just like, sure, I'll come out in a tearaway Mario costume holding a hat.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sure, go for it. Why not?
Yep. Oh yeah. All right. I think that's it. I think we're just gonna or should I talk a little bit about Suicide Squad?
Go ahead, if you've got anything more you want to talk about Suicide Squad, go for it.
Well, what I was saying, of course, it's all spoiler free. It's kind of everything you see in the trailers and whatnot. I wouldn't waste my money going to see it. I went and saw it with my buddy, hung out with some friends. It was a cool social, like, we had a few beers, maybe that helped. But honestly, before it, during it, and after it, I thought, we should have saw War Dogs. I think we saw it because for the last few weeks we've been saying, let's go see it, and then we went to the beach, or we went to the island. We did a bunch of other stuff, and we never went and saw it, and it was kind of like, we got to do this. And so we did, and it wasn't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. Just like I thought the same thing about Warcraft, even though I thought Warcraft was a much better film. Will Smith is great. Harley, what's her name? Maggie
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, she probably does the best job in the whole film. Her and Will Smith. They steal the show, completely. And everything else is kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's about it. It's definitely something I'd watch. Absolutely Redbox. Absolutely, rent for $5 or whatever on demand. But that's about it. I wouldn't go to the theater to see it unless you're like you do this, or you're just a super giant nerd like me. Go see it. But if not, your money could be spent better elsewhere.
Or if you've got a dollar theater nearby, catch it in a couple months.
Perfect. There you go. That absolutely. Yeah. I loved the music, but it was totally not in the right places, and there was too much of it. It was like you could tell after there was a lot of quick cuts, a lot of edits, and you could tell they added this music later. Some of it was key to like the scenes and the way the beats went. But after a while, you're like, they're just adding this song for background noise, and it's very jarring.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, and the Joker, like most people have said, didn't need to be in the film. He weaved in and out of it, but I think it hurt the film because he just seemed like this side story that was weaving in and out, and it was like, is he gonna? I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was this non-factor to me and even to like the story. They're like, what is this again? Oh, okay, he's not here. What is this again? Like, it just was ridiculous. And it just took away from the story, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I know.
But yeah, so it could have been a lot better. Wasn't as bad as Batman vs Superman though. So.
Well, at least there's that.
There's that, absolutely.
Which, to be fair, I mean that's a bar so low you'd have to trip over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it didn't make me. And there are some cool surprises too that I guess I heard about, but I completely forgot when I saw the film. And then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. All right, awesome." But yeah. So that's it. So I guess we can get into some wrestling, or did you want to talk at all about UFC or?
I actually didn't see the fights.
Oh, okay.
I actually did not see the fights.
Who was even in it? I don't know much about UFC.
Well, because I know the McGregor Diaz bout was amazing. Like I've
Yes.
heard my buddy Mike, who does the YouTube channel, the Fight Geek. Like I saw like just article after article after article he was posting, and
Well, the reason why I watched it was Mike Perry.
oh yeah, that's right, you were talking about him. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that was the whole reason I watched. I didn't know. Of course, McGregor. I don't know anything about UFC. I'm just gonna flat out say that. I know of McGregor because of just he's what the top guy pretty much. It seems like.
Most popular. It's like people. It's the same thing with Ronda Rousey.
Right, exactly. So yes, they bleed over into pop culture so much that you hear their name, you see their face, you probably don't know anything about it. That's what I'm in. Yeah, no, a friend of mine, his brother is in UFC, and this was his first major like paper. Like a few months ago, he was doing it in Daytona. I don't think it was televised on like pay-per-view or anything like that. I think he's had like 6 or 7 matches. This was the big one. This was the one where he was on television in Vegas on a pay-per-view on the main card. And he killed it. He totally killed it. I think it was first or second round. I'm not sure. It's kind of a blur. His opponent, I don't know his name, but he just seemed like he was so much taller than him.
Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of. But yeah, and he kicked ass. Mike won, so that was cool. And then of course the McGregor fight was awesome. That one looked like it could have went either way.
Yeah.
I couldn't really tell. Like I said, I don't know much about it. I just by the end of the match, the other guy was just bloody. Whole face was bloody. It seemed like one would do good for 2 rounds, the other one would do good for 2 rounds, and so it was right down the middle. And so yeah, so that was the UFC match. I thought it was cool.
Nice. Yeah, you can. It's easy to get, like, if you really get into it, and it's easy to dismiss. It's easy to just kind of brush it aside. And if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really get into it, you can start to see like all the different levels this works on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just okay. You throw 2 guys in there and they hit each other and they try to throw each other around. There is actually a lot more. It's a lot more technical than I think a lot of people realize.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, I absolutely believe that. I know I'm ignorant about it, if that makes sense. I don't know anything about it, so I can tell just by what they were saying and what they were doing, like how technical that could be.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't know. I mean, I don't know. Whenever I watch, especially boxing matches, I never can call those right because I'm like, that guy clearly kicked the other guy's ass. I'm like, nope, the other guy had way more, body shots and all. And I'm just like, yeah, but that other guy's face is caved in. Doesn't matter, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean that's an interesting thing of just like all that takes is one good shot.
Yep.
Like that's it's weird, especially in boxing because they go 12, 15 rounds. Then I mean the scorecards can get really jumbled sometimes.
Yeah, basically.
Unless you're an Olympic boxing judge, and then it's just who paid for this one? Oh, okay, yes, they win. Oh my god, that's a mess.
Yeah,
that's an absolute mess.
I didn't watch much of the Olympics. Have you?
I watched the main stuff. I watched, I did the swimming and the gymnastics. I watched a little of the stuff that I always mean to watch and never do. I watched some of the freestyle wrestling. I watched some of the fencing, and I watched some of the boxing. And those are the ones that, like, I want to watch them more just because I always like those, especially the wrestling. But the freestyle, not the Greco-Roman. Greco-Roman bores me. But what and here's the thing, there was so much ridiculous coverage around all this Ryan Lochte nonsense, and then they were like, oh, and before we go to break, here's 25 seconds on and I'm terrible at making my own point, I can't remember her name, winning a gold in women's freestyle wrestling. Mm-hmm. and then like that's it. Like it was genuinely impressive and something that needed to be celebrated, but we need to talk about the Ken doll who kicked in a bathroom door.
Right, yeah, I don't know anything about that. I've just been so busy that I've not paid attention, and I've only It's weird. I only see the story when I'm like out with my friends and it's in a bar and it's on TV and you can't hear what they're saying. You see
Right.
him all dressed up and you see like this footage of him coming out of. I have no idea what happened. I can't even speak on that.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we got drunk and acted like frat boys, even though we're 30. Feel bad for us." Like
that's the gist that I got from
pretty
it.
much.
And then and it was like one lie turned into like everybody was on you, so you got to keep the lie up because that's the only way to keep.
Yeah, and then that lasted for like a day.
Yeah. Oh, did they admit that they were lying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, is it like a Casey Anthony situation where they just take it to the grave? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah. No. Once they got busted, they were like, "Oh no, dude, we have you guys on tape."
Oh, okay.
It was. They were just like, "Oh well, shit."
Oh, okay. Every time I saw it, it seemed like he was like trying to. I don't know. Like, he was just trying to be like, "Nope, this is what happened."
Well, because the first story was the lie, and the second story was the lie with some differences in it. And then, like, the third story was like, well, I over-exaggerated. Like, no, you made stuff up. There's a difference.
I think it's very clear. They were afraid of what would happen to them in that kind of prison and jail and that system.
But here's the thing, though. They settled it right there. They were like, hey, you busted this stuff up, you owe us money. Okay, how much do we owe you? Well, you owe us this much. Okay, here you go.
Oh,
that was it. Like, had they not said anything about it, this story never would have happened.
That's true. You gotta imagine going to countries like that it's probably one of the things where you're like, hey, pay to get the situation cleared.
Right. And then it would have been over. They were like, look, this is, we're not going to drag this through the courts. It's going to cost us money to fix this. Pay us the money. And they went, okay, here's the money. And had they just decided not to say anything about it, it wouldn't have mattered. And even if they had somebody said, hey, Ryan, we saw this thing. What happened? Oh, we whatever it was, and we got drunk and we acted like idiots, but we settled it and everything is okay, and we're very sorry for how we acted, but we took responsibility, blah, 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 and told the truth, it would have been fine. They would have said, oh, you know what? They screwed up. They're going to get yelled at for it. But they rectified it, and it would have been, and that would have been the end.
Yeah.
But they had to be dramatic and had to do this whole thing, and that's why they're in trouble. Is because they just completely made this crap up.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
You want to get into NXT or?
Yeah, I mean, might as well just start at the beginning of the weekend. With the show that stole the freaking weekend.
Yeah, by far.
Oh my god, that was an amazing show.
Mm-hmm.
Even
from top to bottom.
Yeah, even by NXT standards, it was amazing.
Yeah, like this is how you do it. This is it was just the right amount of matches, I thought. The talent, even like the entrances were perfect.
Come on, Shinsuke's entrance with the violins, was it somebody? It was, I can't remember his name. Was like Lee Jordan Jr. I think.
Yeah.
It was something Jordan Jr. I do remember that much. But like how over is a wrestler where you can get a violinist to come out to play along with his theme after this ridiculous improvised intro, and you've got 15,000 people in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn going crazy for this dude. Like, yep. How over are you when you can bring out a violinist to get cheered in that kind of crowd?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they were all singing along.
Oh my god, I'm telling you, man, NXT, whenever it is you're going to this event, you've got, like, you'll see, it's crazy.
Yeah.
NXT is like nothing else. It's very kind of ECW in the way that, like, this is the community, this is the tribe.
Well, that's what it to me, on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
It looks like a professionally done indie thing where, it doesn't look like it's done in a church or some old abandoned building. Of course, it has the production of a big show, but it is small enough that I imagine if I went to a bunch of these, I'd probably know most of the people standing next to me because they probably are the same people.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
That's exactly the best way
And
to
that's
describe
cool. That to me, that's like going to a comic shop over a bigger comic shop, because the community is so important. And that's what this seems like. It seems like you could tell like and I know I'm jumping ahead, but the crowd was a million times better watching NXT than they were, SummerSlam.
it.
Like
By far.
even when Bailey came out on Raw, she did, at first it didn't seem like she got as big of as a pop, and then it went crazy when she started doing her thing. But on NXT, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. You could tell just they were way more into it, if that makes sense.
It's because it's a different crowd. It
Yeah.
is. It's a different, and I imagine that most of that crowd for that weekend, for those 3 shows, was probably pretty much the same crowd for Takeover, for SummerSlam, and Raw, because they were all from the same. They were all in the Barclays Center.
Right, right. Yeah.
So I imagine that those were all they were all the same crowd. But so
Okay.
you got interesting reactions.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, hey, we got to take a quick break, but when we get back, we'll get more into NXT, SummerSlam, Raw, all that. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and let's get into NXT Takeover Brooklyn too. Let's start at the top here. Who do you have the list of the card in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Um,
So the two people that went first, it was you take it.
Yeah, it was Austin Aries, who was huge in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
He was mammoth in TNA. Came to NXT, and like that was him and Bobby Roode were both. It's interesting. There's a mini TNA takeover happening in WWE with Aries and Bobby Roode and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So that's like it's awesome to see these guys who were so big in TNA, and you could almost get the vibe of like here of like there and the indies is kind of it. Like there almost seemed to be this like if you were a TNA star, you just weren't ever going to make the jump to WWE. Even
Right.
if like your contract expired and this and that, WWE was just not going to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
There really seemed to be that kind of aura. It was different for guys, Christian and Rhino and the Dudleys went from WWE to TNA and back and forth and back. Like I mean, Ric Flair was another one.
Yep.
But Sting and AJ kind of broke that jinx,
Mm-hmm.
and it's trickled down from there, and it's awesome because we get matches like Austin Aries and No Way Jose,
Mm-hmm.
who has that gimmick should not work.
Right. Oh
That
yeah. No. I mean,
there is
what?
there is no way that should be that fun.
Well, that's the problem when I see No Way Jose. I'm like, this is great for right here, but this is not going to. I don't think that would do well over in the main roster.
I agree. Like I don't think it's main roster material.
Right.
But I mean, Fandango has found some luck teaming with Tyler Breeze. I mean, Breezango is a thing.
But that's what I mean. But I don't. I'm not interested in them in the least.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it worked though. Like he came out and he worked that crowd, and the program he's had with Austin Aries has allowed him to say, he's not just this kind of fun dancing gimmick. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like when he needs to turn it on, he can go. And he put on a hell of a match. It was exactly what I wanted. We had Austin Aries went over, but No Way Jose, it wasn't a squash match. Like No Way Jose went toe to toe with Austin Aries, and that's a career maker right there.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was great. I thought it was a great match, and that, like I said, I don't know much. I didn't know much about any of these guys. I think I saw them on NXT just maybe 1 or 2 matches before I saw this,
Yeah.
and I just like, oh, I know their face. Like I said, I'm the guy that's just now kind of getting back into it big time. So a lot of these faces, I like, and I started doing some research. Um, I knew that AJ was big everywhere, but he was big like everywhere else.
Oh yeah.
And to the point where I was like, oh, he wrestled with Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I saw a video of Xavier Woods blowing chucks in the ring at TNA, and I just did you see the video on Up Up Down Down of his interview with him?
No, I
And
don't
he's
think so.
like, AJ, what do you think of being in this new video game? And he's like, hey, we were in a video game together. And he's like, yeah, but we're like now in like a real video game though.
Yeah, because the TNA video game was just, oh my god, it was awful.
Right. Sorry, but yeah, let's get back to the
Oh, it's
um
terrible.
yeah.
Uh, and then we had the debuting Ember Moon, who wrestled before as Athena in the Indies. She wrestled with, what was it, Shimmer, I think, and a couple other promotions, and came out, and her match with Billy Kay was all right. It did help establish Billy Kay a little more, but that diving corkscrew stunner as a finish
Yeah.
was just, I mean, come on, that was an instant star maker right
Yeah,
there.
that was awesome.
Like, they were like, all right, that's it, that's this, yeah, she's going places. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Um, and and then we get to Andrade Cien Almas versus Bobby Roode, and that was, I didn't know that we were gonna have two entrances on the night, which were just gonna be amazing. I
Right.
thought there's no way you're gonna touch Bobby Roode's entrance.
Right.
It was, in every sense of the word, glorious.
Oh yeah.
It was
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like it's overshadowed everything for him. It seems like.
Yeah, and that's fine, because that's what he wants. Like, that's this character of just like, it's just so overly theatrical in that aspect, and it works because he sells it. He grabs that ball and he just runs with it, man.
Well, again, and I think this is what kind of makes our dynamic really cool is that you know so much about this. I'm coming in new. I didn't know anything about him before I heard his music. I heard his music first.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. It might have been you. It was like, listen to this. This is awesome. And then I was like, who's this wrestler? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then I went and looked, and he's huge. So, yeah, I that's what's really cool,
Yeah. And the crowd was so into it. Like, that was our first sing along of the night.
Yep.
And it was crazy to see that. And he and Cien, poor Cien, Cien almost was, he's a little more that luchador style. He's done a lot of wrestling in Mexico. He wrestled under a different name, which escapes me for the moment, but he's a solid worker. He's fantastic in the ring, and it didn't do him a lot of favors to be in there against a heel that the crowd just absolutely adored.
Mm-hmm.
That did not help him much.
Definitely not.
But it was a solid match. It was a really good match. I don't like Bobby's finisher. I don't like that, like, half, like, it's almost a pump handle drop. It's not even a slam like Test used to do.
Right.
And it's, I don't know. I just think that's kind of a weak finisher.
Yeah.
But it was a great match, and to see Bobby, like, carry on the way he did, like, that's how you do it.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Yeah, like I said, not knowing much about him, I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Great entrance, great match.
And then what could have been match of the night, if not for the main event, you had the Revival against Johnny Wrestling and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, one of the best tag matches I've seen, and I can't tell you how long.
One of the best tag matches there's been in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from the psychology setup, the false finishes, the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they went back to basics with tag team wrestling. They put on Tag Team Wrestling 101, and they built on it, and they built on it, and they built on it, and it was a long match.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave them time to tell this whole story, and it was just incredible. And you saw the toughness of Johnny during the Cruiserweight Classic. He and Ciampa had that match against each other, and it was just incredible. You saw the resilience in Johnny, and so to see this tag match play out the way it did was just incredible.
Yeah.
And that was tag team wrestling the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it.
Uh,
It just seemed like every match was better than the next.
yeah, it was, and I mean that one ran
Yeah.
almost 20 minutes, had to be, and that's a hell of a long time, especially on just a 2.5 hour show.
Yep.
And then we got to Asuka versus Bayley, the rematch,
Yeah.
and we saw the continued evolution of the toughness of Bayley,
Yeah.
and it still wasn't enough.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, and I know, she had her big debut on Raw this week and everything. So I mean, it was time. She needed the call up, but they had to have this closure with Asuka, and it was a tremendous match. Asuka's in-ring talent has never been lacking.
Right.
It's, the mic work needs a little polish,
Hmm.
but I mean that's when they finally bring her up, watch out, man.
I'm telling you, man. Oh man. And the thing is, I get it. Like, is she from the New Japan?
Yes.
I imagine a lot of, like, for example, uh, Nakamura. I imagine they're most of them are from Japan. And when they bring them, do you think they'll bring them up together?
I don't think they come up together. No.
No. Okay. I was gonna say that's where I think we talked about last week how like Paul Heyman, being the mouth for some of these guys, um, I could totally see that happening, and I could totally see them being a group, if that makes sense, like this invading force or something from NXT, because it seems like they have a lot of talent
Yeah.
from, and not just them, but like even like Gallows, Gallows and Angel, like a lot of these guys are from over there, right? Like they
Well,
were over there and made big, like even, like Balor and whatnot.
right.
I could totally see them being a stable,
Well, and here's the interesting thing. Brock did a lot of work with New Japan too.
Right, right. So did Goldberg.
Yeah.
So I mean, I doubt that will ever happen, but um, I don't know. And having like that one person that talks to them for them, like Paul Heyman, or not necessarily him, but someone, I could totally see that. Uh, Nakamura is just his own thing, though, his own animal.
Yeah.
So,
He's got to kind of stay on his own. It's just
and I, and I know this is jumping ahead, but man, that belt looks like it was made for him.
I will. So we're gonna get to that.
Just perfect for him. But yeah,
Oh, but
I
you
could
know,
totally see him having that belt at WrestleMania.
yeah.
But yeah,
But and that main event, man. I mean, we talked about Nakamura's entrance, and just played to it,
mhm.
and ate it up and worked the crowd, like that's I and the match, God, the match, what a match! He and Joe had exactly the match I wanted them to have.
Oh yeah,
Uh, and they had to rush the end a little bit
mhm.
because Nakamura legit broke Joe's jaw.
Yeah,
And
hit him a little bit too hard.
you could see when it happened, like, oh, this wasn't just, he hit me in the side of the face. It was like, oh man, no, he really busted that side of his face.
Yeah, he dislocated it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And but oh man, and when he hit that second Kinshasa, and the Barclays Center just exploded.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it came absolutely unglued.
Do you think he's gonna get a call up soon?
No, no, I think he holds that title for the better part of a year, at least.
No, he's lost it.
Oh, Joe, I don't know
Yeah.
about. I think Joe wants his revenge, and they'll do a rematch program,
Okay.
and Joe will get beat, and then he gets the call up.
Yeah. I hope he goes to SmackDown.
Joe would do well on SmackDown. I think
Yeah.
because and especially because SmackDown needs more star power.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking about it? I know we're jumping ahead. SmackDown this week, the final match, I thought was amazing.
I loved it.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought they put on AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler, just an amazing match. And I thought put Samoa Joe in here, and you got Bray Wyatt, and like you have Randy Orton. Like they have some good talent in the Miz. Like SmackDown's nothing to, I know it's only 2 hours, but they might actually, I think, benefit from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, because Raw, we'll get all that, but there's like a good 20 minutes chunks where I'm like, we didn't need to see that. That was stupid as fuck.
Right.
Where SmackDown, it has its weird moments, but for the most part, it flows. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to NXT. So yeah, I loved it. I thought the final 2 matches were just as good as the other, and I thought they were both they could have swapped those and it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And it was just so good. From top to bottom, the show, man. I can't say enough good things. And as kind of new coming into this, being that I knew WWE but I didn't know NXT, I was like, what's like that over there? What's that like over there? I don't know too many of the people's names, but now that I've been watching it for a few months now, I guess it's been a little bit longer, but I mean like solid few months now of just seeing everything.
Yeah.
Now that I know the names and stuff like that, it was just such a better show. I drink the Kool-Aid now.
Yeah. What you can't, like, when you really get into the product, you can't not.
Right.
Absolutely. It just is so much better.
It is. It absolutely is. Well, I think we've got to take a quick break and we'll get back. We will finish it up and we'll talk about SummerSlam and Raw and SmackDown. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're going to talk about SummerSlam a little bit before we go. So, you want to take it away?
Yeah, we had the pre-show matches, which were, whatever.
12-man tag team matches.
Yeah, that was just a cluster. We didn't need that.
You know what pisses me off? Okay, they had Sami Zayn and Neville versus defeated the Dudley Boys. You were absolutely right. Neville was underused, but Sami Zayn, like, he had one of the best matches last pay-per-view. Arguably the best match.
Yeah.
And he's not even on the main card on this pay-per-view, and it just, and especially on Raw, like it looked like there was a glimmer of hope they were going to put him in the mix for the title,
yeah.
And then it was taken away. Like, and he's just constantly doing good work. And he and Rollins on Raw had just a beat down of a match. They really did, absolutely. And when he looks like he hurt his leg, obviously he didn't. It was done so well.
Yeah.
They need to. That man. It kind of pisses me off that they don't use him well.
He'll get there. They can't. He is the next Daniel Bryan.
Very true, but at the same time, like, I don't know. You see how they put Baylor just right at the top immediately.
Yeah. Look how well that worked for him.
Well, he got injured.
Right, not his fault.
Right. But I mean, like, Kevin Owens and Zayn, they need that. We'll get to it. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So anyway, those things happened, and that sucked. Sheamus and Cesaro.
Sheamus won the first of a best of 7. Sure, let's have. It's really going to be the best of 9 because we've had this twice already.
And that's the problem. Is it wasn't a bad match, but we're going to see it how many more times?
Yeah.
And we saw it last week. Yeah. That's dumb. Jericho and Enzo and Big Cass. I liked it because I love Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens on the mic. Same with Enzo and Cass.
This is a perfect pair of pairs. It really is.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like putting Jericho and Owens together was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Yeah, it is so well done.
It's a good and it's a good program. It was a good match. Glad to see Jericho pick up the win. They needed it.
Yeah.
God, that women's title match. Oh my God. No wonder Sasha is taking some time off to deal with some injuries.
Right.
Because she does things like that.
It seemed like Charlotte was botching a lot of things.
It wasn't that.
No?
It wasn't that, no.
I mean, she dropped her coming down that top rope, that it just that didn't look like it was planned.
I disagree. I
don't know. I think for the most part, for most of the match, obviously it went the way, but I don't think her head was supposed to drop like that. I think that she was supposed to kind of throw her or whatever, but
that one is arguable. That's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, what did you call it off the top rope? The Hurricanrana?
Yeah, that Hurricanrana. Gosh,
she was doing like the Razor Ramon thing. That was awesome.
They turned the Razor's Edge into that Rana. That was.
Oh yeah, this was probably top 3 of the night for me. This should have been one of the last matches, and that kind of pisses me off that the women's championship was that low on the card, along with a lot of these other titles. It just makes no sense.
All the titles.
All the titles, yeah. This shouldn't be below The Miz and Apollo Crews.
Right, which was for the Intercontinental title, which was the next match, which was, I mean, fine. Like it was
fine. Yeah,
it wasn't a terrible match.
Right, exactly.
And then you had the match of the night.
Absolutely,
hands down.
Yep.
I mean, Styles and Cena. What a, I will now shut up about Cena and his wrestling talent. I was one of those Cena can't wrestle anymore, blah blah blah. I was one of those. I will shut up now.
Yeah, he's great. This is what I was saying a few weeks ago. You were like, stop it.
Yeah. I will forever shut up about that now.
That's good.
And to see Styles go over.
And so clean too.
Oh my god, a perfect squeaky clean, like he just beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, my god.
AJ's that good. We saw that on tonight, last night or whatnot. We saw that again, and it's I like he needs to stay away from the club thing. I think honestly, as a newcomer coming in, that all stuff turned me off. But when you see what he can do in the ring, it's completely different. It's a completely different character. It seems like it's a completely different person than the goofy, beat up John Cena. It just seems silly and like something like your uncle would find funny.
Right.
Stay away from that. Keep him as this like more like Seth Rollins. So anyway, yes, I agree. Totally match of the night. Then we had Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and New Day. And Jon Stewart.
Right.
Yeah, and Big E, the crowd went nuts when he came running out. We all knew he wasn't injured.
Right.
I think he did have to stay out for something, but...
Right. I mean, this was, the match was fine, but, the finish, I don't know. I didn't like the non-resolution here.
See, I think I would like to see Big E kind of go for the championship. Honestly, I think he should be in the mix with these guys that are on Raw doing the...
I would love to see Big E get the next U.S. title push.
Yeah.
I want him to be next for that. Because we had here, we went from the tag title match to the WWE title match.
Yep.
I mean, notice we haven't gotten to the U.S. title match yet, and we're already... This is the belt that headlined Mania.
Right.
And it's 4th from the end of this card.
Real fast, I loved Xavier Woods' elbow off the rope.
Yes, that was
awesome. He should get a push too. Kofi's he's a little bit older. I'd love to see the other two kind of get a push with something. So yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
So anyway, yes, back to Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. Their title was in the middle of the.
Yeah.
It seemed like the middle, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was dumb. It was a good match, but the
placement.
It should have been more exciting. Yeah.
And then we had the because after this we had the 6-woman tag match that. Look, that was actually a much better match than it had any right to be.
It should have been the second match, and here should have been the women's championship.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And these 6 went out there. We had the return of Nikki Bella. Huzzah! I don't care. I never liked.
Who's now a face?
Yeah, except she came out on the heel team at SummerSlam, and then Carmella turned on SmackDown. That's a whole
I thought it was cool. I liked it when she turned.
Yeah, it needed okay, we need a heel in this division who's not currently suspended.
I thought it was good because again, outsider coming in. I thought it's weird. Like you said, she's not with Enzo and Cass. I thought she would have been perfect with them the way I saw her like that when you told me about it. And when she came out by herself talking, I was like, no, that's not good. And then now that she's a heel, it's like, okay, that's great.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Nikki can definitely put on a good show. So
yeah,
we only have a few more minutes. So Finn and Finn and Seth, I thought were fantastic.
The Twizzlers title. I'm calling this. I'm gonna get this trending on Twitter if it kills me. I'm calling this the Twizzlers title because that was my first thought. I've heard people call it the Jampionship because it looks like jam. I like Twizzlers title better. I mean, that's been my hashtag for the last 3 nights.
Yeah. No, I honestly thought it. I thought it was a great match, but the title took away a lot of the steam.
Right, because the crowd hated it, and they booed the title more than they paid attention to the match.
And that's not good.
No, it's not. And that's when, if somebody, and credit to Seth Rollins, who has been the one to come out and say, screw you people for doing this to us.
Yeah.
For saying, you're going to boo the title instead of pay attention to this match, screw you. Like, he's come out, he did a promo that didn't air on Raw. But they caught it for WWE.com, and it's just a continuation of when he tweeted, like, I expected better from you, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And he came out and did that promo, and I was like, yes.
And then he thanked Finn the next day on Twitter, even though his character, on TV was being a jackass or whatever. But on Twitter, he's like, thank you for saying that. Because he was like, thank you for giving me the best fight that I've had. And it's true. Like, I've seen that's a whole nother thing. A lot of people talk about Seth. He injured Sting. He's now injured Baylor. It happens.
It's not an easy business. These things happen, and it sucks. But it's not. This is not a case of.
I thought Jim Ross put it really well when he was like, "It's not Seth Rollins' fault."
Right.
He was like, they should probably backstep just a second about how fast they're going, and stuff like this might not happen as often.
Right.
And that's the problem. Is that's what he was saying. He was like, this isn't a Seth Rollins thing. It's this generation thing.
Yeah.
Basically, they're going a little bit too fast. Where if they take a second to take a breather, they could catch themselves and they can sell it better and not actually injure themselves. So I don't know. So I thought that was important.
Yeah. And that's a totally fair point. And then you had the disappointment of the night with
this should have been 4 matches prior.
Yeah, Lesnar and Orton, which was not a match. It was Lesnar's going to throw some suplexes, Orton's going to hit an RKO and his DDT, and then Brock busted him open with some vicious elbows, and they called the match. Have a good night.
And see, what I don't get is they're in this lawsuit, right? They have all of the 50-some wrestlers suing them for concussions and how they treated wrestlers.
Yeah.
They banned blading, but yet this is all work, apparently. This is all something that was planned.
Right.
Their idea was, we'll go in the ring and then cut his head open, bash his head in with your elbow to the point where he's bleeding. But don't use a chair, don't blade, don't do anything that's a million times safer.
No, legit bust his head open.
What I think is that all of the heat they've been getting from McGregor over the last week about how wrestling's fake, they wanted to put their dick on the table and go, well, let's just show them some blood.
And the problem is it destroyed the pay-per-view. Like
it really did. Did you hear Jericho? What he did?
No, what did he do?
Behind the scenes, Jericho apparently got into his face. He said, what the fuck's going on? Was that real or not real? Was that a work or whatnot? And no one would answer him. And then apparently Brock came in and heard him and was like, what's your problem? They got into an altercation. Triple H tried to break them up, and Chris Jericho was like, no, fuck that guy. Someone tell me, was that planned? And they were trying to calm him down, and Brock was like, you're going to kiss me, you're going to punch me, do something. And it got to the point where Vince McMahon had to break them up and said it was all a work. And Randy finally was like, I was in on it. It's like, we knew that was going to happen. Probably not as much blood as they were expecting, but they were in on it. And that's the problem, is he gets away with whatever he wants.
Right.
He can get on TV, he can curse, he can cause, do the blood.
He can win a championship and not show up for 4 months.
And he can piss dirty. He just now got suspended from the UFC from just hard steroids.
Right, which WWE is not going to do anything about.
It's not so, but he doesn't live by the same rules. You have Seth Rollins, right? Or not Rollins. Uh,
Who are you looking for?
Reigns.
Roman Reigns, yes.
Reigns couldn't wrestle for a month because of whatever. Yet he gets to do whatever he wants. I can understand why the locker room would be pissed.
Yeah.
He doesn't follow the same rules, doesn't have to do the same thing, and I don't know. I'm tired of seeing him, honestly. I hope he's not. Apparently, he's not going to be on for the rest of the year.
Well, but I mean, here's the thing. That's because he's only scheduled for X amount of days.
That's what I mean. I don't care why. I don't.
Yeah.
The second I heard they were the main match, I was like, boring, fucking boring. How do you end a show like that?
Apparently, you don't.
No, you don't. I hope they learned their lesson. Honestly, I think we ran out of time, didn't we?
Yeah, but you know,
right.
Rolf, dude, The Miz. Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh my God, he on Talking Smack. I'm gonna start watching Talking Smack.
I think that's what the whole point of this episode was like, you guys should be watching this because look how crazy this gets. And The Miz, that was awesome. That was the best thing I've ever seen him do.
And you could tell by looking at Maurice, this was not a work. I'm sure maybe it started off that way, but then he went off script at some point.
I don't think so. I think it all was, but the thing was, this is the difference between it being scripted and not. He was just talking.
Yeah.
And he wasn't being told what to say.
Exactly.
But I think it was, okay, get upset. I'm gonna make fun of you. Say whatever you want. And it was him just going off on it.
But they wonder if he went too far.
No, I don't think so at all.
I don't think he did either. But
yeah, he didn't say anything he didn't offend the company. He didn't say anything bad about the company. He basically just said, "I'm a coward. You're a coward."
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen that, go watch. They've even posted it.
They didn't post the end of it too. I went back and watched it on the network, and the end is really good. Where he goes, "Do a close up to my face," and he's so intense that you can tell he wasn't being told what to say. He could just kind of say. It seems like what they used to do with Punk, just say whatever you want.
Right.
We'll cut you off if we think it's too much.
Exactly. That helped make now I'm interested in The Miz.
Well, he needs to do that more often.
Well, I think it just that once is fine. But
no, I think he knows. I think he needs to blow up on people more. They need to not let him. They need to say say what you want to say.
Yeah. It
you know
couldn't
what I mean?
hurt. It can't. His character's kind of stale already. It could only help really, or get him fired. There's really one of two ways.
Yeah. There's a few people you can tell they kind of seem like they give free reign, the Wyatt. Bray Wyatt seems like he can kind of say what he wants.
Yeah.
Enzo kind of goes out there and just makes references. You can tell it's kind of him though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. More people like Titus O'Neil. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God! Don't ever put Titus. Don't ever give him a microphone ever again.
That was
life.
His worst night.
Dude. Watch that and watch The Miz and see what not to do and what to do.
That's the difference between scription and not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell he wasn't used to being that kind of character.
Yeah, and boy did it show.
Oh yeah. Well, that's it. Probably went way over, but anyway, we are We Geek Podcast. My name's Adam, here with Logan. Go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep, and that's it. Captain.
Hashtag Twizzlers title.